so freaking mean to me.
You're so revealing. You just tell everything.
Because had Oprah Winfrey said, I'm gonna have your mother, I would have said, shut it down.
Oprah wanted to exploit her for views. Monique wasn't having it. She said, I'm not doing that.
Well, because I was trying to calmly leave and not cause a thing. No apologies necessary.
I feel that a lot of things are on the line, a lot of things are at stake.
So when I was making $22,000 a year, people always needed $50.
Over the years, a number of interviews have really shown us the cracks in Oprah's carefully curated facade. It is thanks to folks like Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, Howard Stern, Cindy Crawford, and so many more that we can really glimpse into the darkness behind the mogul. So Oprah came under fire back in 2021 for a 2004 interview on her show, The Oprah Winfrey Show, where she asked Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, who were the height of teeny bopper fashion, what clothing size they were. Now, at the time of the interview, rumors had been circulating that Mary-Kate was suffering from an eating disorder. And later that year, the actress turned fashion designer did spend time in a rehab facility to receive treatment for a health-related issue. So Oprah said, I know a new rumor that's recently surfaced that has you really upset, right? You know, the one about eating. And now Ashley quickly jumped in to protect her sister, saying, yeah, people are gonna write what they're gonna write. We try not to read the good or the bad because it just comes with the territory. Either you're too fat, too skinny, and people are just gonna write what they're... And she was cut off by Oprah because Oprah wanted her little soundbite. Oprah was like, well, what size are you, by the way? Now, you could very much see Mary-Kate and Ashley feel very uncomfortable, and Ashley tried deflecting, being like, size? Like, oh, we're both like petite. And then Oprah is not having it and being like, oh, that's so interesting. Saying it like it's an inside joke with her in the audience. She's like, I'm obsessed with size. And you're like, I don't know. And thankfully at this point, like, poor Mary-Kate piped up and was like, but I really don't know. Like, if we were obsessed with our size, it'd be like a different story. Honestly, watching that entire video just left me feeling so icky, because it's like, who cares what size they are? Let them be. You get a car, and you get criticized for a lavish lifestyle. Controversial radio host Howard Stern accused Oprah Winfrey of showing off her wealth on social media. So he said, Oprah's not embarrassed by her wealth at all. I think this was like a recent radio show excerpt, and he added, she loves showing it off. It's effing mind-blowing. When you follow her on Instagram, you see her estates, her gardens, the people who service her, and his co-host interjected, service her? She's not a car. And then Stern's like, well, she kind of is. She's got servants and like people cooking, and it's effing wild. Look, folks, according to my sources, Oprah's got a net worth of $2.5 billion, which is the combination of her talk show success, her TV shows, and her brand ambassadorship stuff. So like, she's made herself. Stern continued saying the famed talk show host knows how to be rich and likes to show it off, which is something I'm not comfortable with. He's like, I don't think that people should show off their wealth. Now, his co-host once again interjected and disagreed, arguing that she's just giving fans a peek inside her life using social media, which is what public figures do. He literally said, Oprah's just showing you her life. She's not showing off. And then Howard Stern fired back, saying that Oprah's lacking self-awareness. Well, you gotta be a little self-aware and know that there are people struggling out there. You gotta think about people who don't have anything to eat. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, you gotta be a little aware of this. Like, folks, why do we follow anybody on social media? Because we like them, we aspire to be them. You should be considerate, yes, of others, but like, you can flaunt your life. So, speaking of out of touch, Oprah Winfrey's normal people skills were called into question back in 2006 following a cooking segment on The Oprah Winfrey Show. So she had invited Anna Ginsberg onto the set after Anna scooped a colossal $1 million for winning a national culinary contest. Unfortunately, the dish that helped her earn the prize didn't seem to appeal to Oprah's taste. So Ginsberg was like, oh, do you like it? Like, I hope so. This was a chicken and spinach stuffing meal that she'd created. And although Oprah insisted that she did like it, her face told a very different story. And then the situation got even more awkward when Oprah was like, did we get salt and pepper? I think we needed salt and pepper. So after the offending clip went viral a couple years later, Oprah decided to issue a defense of her MasterChef smackdown on Oprah Daily, saying, here's the deal. This is what I was thinking. I always wanted anybody who came onto the show, no matter what they did, to have a good experience. And I also wanted to stay in my own truth while also allowing them to have a good experience. Because the truth for me was that I'm used to having salt and pepper on my chicken. That's just the truth. I don't know about you, but I don't think I'd be making a boo-boo face on live television if I just didn't like something that minuscule. When Oprah interviewed Cindy Crawford and Elite Model Management founder John Casablancas back in 1986, she had the model stand up so the audience could see her body. Now, reflecting on the encounter about like 37 years later, Cindy Crawford was like, I was just something to be seen and not heard. And when you look at it through today's eyes, Oprah's like, stand up and show me your body. Show us why you're worthy of being here. Now, in the moment, Cindy Crawford didn't recognize it. And watching it back, she was like, oh my gosh. That was so not okay, really, especially from Oprah. You don't know why? Don't worry, folks, we'll get into it in a minute. So when Robin Williams and Nathan Lane did a joint interview to promote The Birdcage back in 1996, Oprah brought up potential rumors about Nathan's sexuality since he played an openly queer character in the film, and at the time he wasn't ready to discuss his sexuality publicly, so Robin quickly changed the topic by making a joke. Well, fast forward to 2023, and Nathan has mentioned that he doesn't think Oprah was trying to out him, but he did say to Robin beforehand that he wasn't prepared, he was very scared of going out there and talking to Oprah, he was not prepared to discuss being gay on national television, he wasn't ready, and then Robin was like, oh, it's alright, don't worry about it, we don't have to talk about it, we won't talk about it. Well, obviously Oprah was like, let's do it. So apparently, according to Nathan, Robin swooped in, diverted Oprah, and went off on a tangent and protected him because he was a saint, and just went on and on to praise Robin, who I've never heard a bad thing about. Back in March of 2010, Monique won the Best Supporting Actress Academy Award for her performance in Precious. And then after that, everybody's like, okay, what did she do? Well, apparently she claims she was blackballed in the entertainment industry at the hands of a lot of powerful people, one of them being Oprah Winfrey. So Oprah decided, so Monique won this Academy Award, right? And just a couple days later, Oprah decided to have Monique's family on the show, which sounds really great, right? Sounds cute, like, oh, supportive family. Not so much. Monique was not talking to her family at the time, especially not her older brother, who apparently harmed Monique when they were growing up. Now, this was the first time her brother had admitted his crimes and confessed to being a victim of the same actions by other family members, but that doesn't make it okay. Like, folks online were like, yo, Oprah needs to answer for this because it doesn't make sense and it looks bad for Oprah. Somebody else was like, Oprah definitely seems like she has a mean, cold side. Like, I just wonder why she was so mean in this situation. Monique herself said Oprah crossed her on many different levels by doing this. And like, she tried to reach out to have a private conversation, but her efforts to communicate with Oprah didn't happen. Well, fast forward, I think about 3 years, Monique and Oprah are at a celebration party for Lupita Nyong'o in honor of her Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress. So Monique said, and I quote, Oprah Winfrey was sitting on my right, and then I turned to her and said, now I need to talk to you. And apparently it got real quiet. Could hear a pin drop. Monique said, since you didn't want to return my calls for whatever reason, I'm going to say this right here. She asked Oprah, like, why did you invite my family on the show, knowing that our relationship was pretty severed at the time? But Oprah, in true Oprah fashion, was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea the entire family was gonna show up. And she said, like, oh, I didn't know anything about that. If I did anything to offend you, I apologize. Sure, we're gonna pretend this wasn't a calculated move by the queen of daytime TV. Back in 2007, Oprah had actress Jenny McCarthy on her show to promote some stupid book she wrote about her son's autism. Now, I never went to med school, but I do have Google, and according to CDC statistics, more than 3.5 million Americans have an autism spectrum disorder for which scientists have yet to identify a definite cause. But Jenny McCarthy announced very matter-of-factly that her son's autism was caused by vaccinations, specifically the MMR vaccine. Now, this had nearly eradicated measles, mumps, and rubella in the States at the time. And if you didn't already know that, it's probably because society at the time didn't have to worry about those diseases for decades. If you don't know, measles did not mess around in its glory days. It took the lives of thousands of people a year. The number of total cases had dropped to less than 200 annually until these two folks decided to discredit science. After that, there was a gradual spike in cases. Back in 2014, there was a record 23 outbreaks and over 600 cases. I don't know, maybe it was a coincidence. You take the information and make your own decision. And that's all, folks. See you next time.